What's cooking, beautiful people? Welcome back to another video. It's been a while, 9 days. Goodness me, what's been going on? Why haven't I been uploading? I received a message from not a message on the comments of one of these videos. I'm not sure which video it is. Somebody said, there you go, don't stop making updates. No one can always be right. Thank you for you're good, keep it up. Thank you very much for the message, very nice. And I wasn't stopping, so no worries. I was just waiting for the price to go down. The price has now finally, I think, gone down to a point where I've started buying. So as you can see, there's a lot of fucking lines on my chart. So I've opened a trade. I actually did open a trade, and I did it at 161. I'll show it in a second, because there was quite a fair bit of liquidity here. And it was also close enough to the 4,000 mark where, we've had the massive resistance on the, for the past 4 years, well, 3 years, if you take from here. Well, actually, in the past year, came up, hit 4,000, came down, hit again, came all the way down, hit again, and then, shit its pants all the way back down, and now it's finally broken out. And so, why have I decided to finally open a trade? So it hit the zone, and as I had said, I wasn't going to be trading. I didn't open any trades in the last week because, of all in the last 2 weeks, because of all the volatility, and, pretty much what I said happened. It went down. I thought it was going to go down a lot lower, which I was wrong. And so that's why, well, at least for now, I'm wrong. It still might go down. Now, there's a lot of news going around with Putin and Zelensky and the big European summit where all the European leaders went to Merca to talk about a possible peace treaty. The FOMC minutes just came out, and also Israel just started a full-out assault on Gaza, which, money-wise isn't great, and humanity-wise isn't great either, but that's not what what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about investments, not political standings. So as you can see, since Ethereum came down and hit the 4,000 mark, has very beautifully pumped. The market is beautifully pumping. So I'm going to quickly update you on my trade. I've only taken one trade. I'm only in Ethereum. I haven't touched anything else yet, just because there's still decent amount of uncertainty. So I'm going to wait until Ethereum confirms that it's going to keep on pumping up, and this was just a correction, and it's not going to go all the way back down to where I had previously said I would open a trade. So we'll see, because it has now done, if you look at the high time frames, a lower low, right? I mean, since here it's been going up. You can see here, if I draw it out, up, down, up, and then goes, let's zoom out a bit, and then here goes down, up, down, but lower than this previous low at 161. So we'll have to see if this was just a liquidity grab, which would be great, and it means that just needed to fill in some orders, and then we'll be able to keep pushing higher, or if this was the sign of it now that's going to just keep on dropping off. And so the reason why I drew all these lines and crap and everything, if you go on the lower time frames, you can see, so this is how I figure out liquidity, by the way, where there are potential resistance zones. And funnily enough, lines and geometry is always just beautiful. So here you can see how I drew this line and made it keep going. Oh god, my chart's so ugly right now. I'm going to have to clean it all up after. And so that means that right here was a potential zone where there was some resistance. And as you can see, it came, dropped, did a sort of mini double bottom, and then pumped all the way up back before dropping back down here. And then the reason why it stopped here was because there was a little bit of resistance, as you can see on this line. So drops, pumps up, keeps dropping, pumps up. And then you can see drops this line here, So, I mean, this isn't really like, properly visioning resistance zones and where stuff could happen and where you could. This is more for like micro trading. If you want to do, micro trading, you could have ridden from here to here and then sold up here on the line and then waited for it to come back here and then bought down here, sold here, waited for it to come back down to here, which is what I did, where I bought at 160. And then, I'm not selling because I think this is going to keep going up. And so I'm making a few updates. This is actually a relatively large video. So there you go. So if you haven't yet taken a trade on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, honestly, I would, if on the 4-hourly time frame, because this is, seen massive rejection. We're at 370, and then the FOMC minutes came out, and it pooped its pants because people are more worried about the jobless claims and everything, and inflation. But there was a decent amount of mention for stablecoins, which is good. But still, this is a lot of rejection. This is not really what you love to see. So if there is here on the time frame, if it comes down here and then bounces up, then we're good. If it doesn't, then I'm going to be closing my trade in profit. And I'm going to be waiting for it to come even lower because buy up again at 4,090. And if it doesn't respect that, I'm gonna have a buy set at 3,900-ish. Because as you can see here is good resistance. Here there was resistance, came back down and shot up. So 3,950, 3,900. That's where I'm going to have a buy price. And then after that, if there's still no more, if this still doesn't respect, I'm going to have an order set for 3,700-ish, as you can see, because it comes here, goes down, breaks through, comes back down, and then accumulates around the 3,700 mark, and goes back up, comes down, and then has another sort of accumulation at the 3,700 mark. And if that doesn't work, then honestly, we're fucked, and we might see Ethereum coming all the way down to 2,700, but I don't think so. I mean, eventually it might, because, the bull market's going to end, but I don't think the bull market has ended yet. There's still, too much adoption, too many institutions buying. I mean, Bitmine just bought 20, all these whales are buying millions and millions. Bitmine said that they want to raise $20 billion to buy more Ethereum. I mean, this is not... you don't have this. This is not something that indicates the price is going to go down like crazy. Might, but not something that indicates. And however, though, I would be careful on Bitcoin because, as you can see here, I've drawn this cheeky little line, and Bitcoin has actually broken down here and retested it without a drop in a spike in volume. Ooh. Without a spike in volume, which isn't great. And so why this line here that I drew is important is because if you look on the daily time frame, there's a pretty big rising wedge, and a rising wedge is not a very bullish sign. So what it does is builds pressure, and then breaks down like similar to a triangle sort of situation, but it does it with the length of the base. So the base is here. So if we measure that out, that means that we could see a potential Bitcoin drop to 81,000. I don't think so. There's too much buying pressure. There's too much everything. I don't think it will hit 81,000, but I am a bit worried. So I would be cautious, right? Because it could pump up one more time to a new all-time high, 125, 130K, something like that. Again, which is totally possible before breaking down, but it looks like it's broken down, and it looks like it's retested it and has not managed. It came up and then pooped down. So this isn't beautiful. This is not beautiful at all. So we'll have to see. And that's pretty much it for my little update on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm not doing any other cryptos right now because I'm not interested. This is beautiful to see, though. This is a good sign. Bitcoin dominance crashing hard on every time frame. So what we would love to see, well, actually, no, this is perfect. Comes down, comes back up, retests, it looks like. Maybe not enough. Maybe it might come back to this 60. As long as we don't go back above this, we're good. We're living the dream. So we want this to keep crashing, and then we want the Ethereum Bitcoin to keep going up. And to be honest, looks like it might, because just I mean, if you look at on the weekly time frame, like, we have a lot of growth potential, let's say. So it looks like it's good, and it's about to break out of this line is stupid, but this line is interesting, because what happens is resistance breaks out here, retests, and then pumps. So that's what we would like to see. We'd like to see it breaking out. And it is having some trouble, right? It got to there, and now we're seeing resistance. But, however, like, it got up, it resisted down, but it's coming back up, still making higher highs, which is very important, right? As long as we're making higher highs, that does not signal a downtrend. So that's beautiful. And then another reason why this is a big video is because I have finally done it, y'all. I have opened a Forex account with MetaTrader 5. And so I set this whole thing up. And I will be explaining in detail. I've already been in this trade. And right now, if you want to get into it, it's too late. Because it's not too late, but like, you want to wait for a retest back up here on the high daily time frames before, buying. So before shorting, because I shorted. So I will make that an explanation video as to what I look for and how I set it up. But this is the setup. So I shorted up here with this as my trade, and as you can see, it's happening. So I'll show you let me show you right now. So as you can see, loaded it up with $26, and I'm now in positive of 841 on this trade. Not moving it more, not going to do anything else. So that's pretty much that. And then now for this part, so I removed money from this account to the other account, to the trading account. So that's why it's down. And in my trade, as you can see, 461 as the entry price, as I said, and we're doing decently in profits. Before, we were like 220 when Ethereum was up higher, but right now it's dropped down. So there you go. That's pretty much all for today, y'all. Much love, yeah, see you all again tomorrow. And oh yeah, so sorry, bit rusty, been a few days. Don't forget that nothing said in these videos is financial advice, and if you want to join the journey, make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications. And yeah, I'm trying to make new videos every day. Much love, bye bye.